Welcome back to my channel. I know that a lot of you are struggling with depression, and I also know that some of you see no way out of this ongoing battle with it. You're tired, and I don't blame you. Battling depression sucks the life out of you. When you're depressed, it takes all the energy that you have to just do anything, and it seems like there's no hope. Your depression just won't go away. And I know that some of you want to give up the fight, or maybe you've tried. I know your pain. In this video, I want to show you 3 ways to deal with your depression. I want to show you that there's hope for you. So let's get started. Thanks for being here right now because I care about what you're working through. My name is Carole, and I'm a life coach from carolecares.com who helps all teens and young adults work through their mental health challenges. If you are thinking of self-harming right now, please hit the video link above at any time during this video. In my first video on depression entitled Why You See No Point in Even Trying or Living with Depression, I talked about my experience with depression and what it looks like. I felt that I needed to do an entire video on my experience with depression because I wanted to let you know exactly what it feels like to live with depression or hopelessness. If you haven't had a chance to see it yet, I will link it at the end and also in the description box below. Your depression is real. It's raw and it's painful as hell. And I know your pain. I myself have fallen on my bedroom floor in sheer gut-wrenching agony because I saw no way out. More than once. And I've almost taken my life because I saw no way out. I've been there. I couldn't possibly stand here before you today and tell you 3 ways to deal with your depression if I haven't learned to deal with my own depression first. But this video isn't to convince you of that. This is a video to give you some hope. I spent a lifetime in depression, and to be honest with you, I didn't even know that I was depressed because that was my norm. The first thing I used to do every morning when I woke up would be to check my mood. I could feel if I had this black, shitty feeling inside of me, but I don't do that anymore. And I'm not saying I don't get depressed anymore because I do, but I know how to deal with it now when it shows up. I can manage it now. And that's exactly what I want to teach you in this video. You know, I know there's some videos out there that will tell you how to try to avoid your depression or distract yourself. But that's not what you need. You need to learn how to deal with your depression if you have it right now or if it shows up again. All right, if you made it with me this far in this video, that means you want help with your depression. You have decided that you need help and that you want it. I lived with my depression for years until I finally hit my breaking point because I couldn't go on anymore. And I don't want you to wait that long. Now this is where you have to dig really deep to find that last bit of hope in you. I want you to give this one more try. When you are feeling completely hopeless and shitty about your life, the hardest thing to do is to believe that your life will change. I know. I thought it would never get better or happier. Life was such a struggle for me day in and day out. But it doesn't have to be that way for you. I can help you with this if you stick with me. If you commit yourself to 3 ways to deal with your depression, your feelings of hopelessness will start to shift and you will notice a difference in you. Your depression will start to become manageable. I promise. So here are the 3 ways to deal with your depression. Now, before I get to the first way, I have to warn you about it. I don't think that what I have to say is something that you have heard before about your depression. In fact, when I first heard this from my own therapist, I had a very hard time believing it. And I had to remind myself over and over again, every time I fell into about a depression. So here it is, and I hope you're ready for it. Here's the first way to deal with your depression. I want you to start believing that your depression is not about now. What? What am I saying? My depression's not about now? What? And that's exactly how I felt when I heard this. I know you want me to tell you that it is about now because you feel depressed now and it feels like it's about now. I mean, you can't get off the couch. You don't want to do anything. You feel like absolute shit. You see no point. Why do anything? Why try? I get it. But the truth is, your depression that you feel is not about now. Let me explain what I mean. The hopelessness that you are feeling right now, in this moment that you are lying on the couch or in the bed, paralyzed and unable to get up, it's not about this moment. A lot of times when we're depressed, we don't even know why we're depressed or why we feel shitty. We just do, and we can't explain it. So it makes all the sense in the world that your hopelessness is not about now. And maybe you're in a situation right now where it seems hopeless and you see no way out. But there's always a way out. This situation or depression that you're sitting in is triggering you. It's bringing up a period of time or a situation in your childhood when you felt completely hopeless. Chances are you don't remember this. You were too young to comprehend what was going on, so you couldn't deal with it. You pushed away these feelings of hopelessness, but your body hasn't forgotten them. And these feelings are coming up again for you to work through now because you couldn't do it when you were younger. These are feelings that are stuck in your body and they will keep coming up over and over again until you deal with them. And you might say, well, I was too young. I would have forgotten everything. Well, your mind may have forgotten, but believe me, your body hasn't. Your depression is felt in your body. Now, when you are in a full state of depression and you see absolutely no point in carrying on, you may not remember what I just said about your depression and that it's not about now. And if you do remember what I said, you won't believe it because you just feel so depressed. And if someone were to say to you, you know, your depression that you're in right now, it's not about now. You're not going to believe it. So why am I telling you this then? Like, what good does it do for you to know that your depression's not about now? Well, just knowing this or believing this will not make your depression go away. I'm telling you this because I want to give you hope. Your depression is real. You're not making it up. There's a really good reason why you're depressed and why you feel so hopeless and why it brings up so much pain. And because it's not about now, you can learn to deal with it when it comes up. You can face this pain now. You don't have to live in constant state of depression all the time. So practice saying this over and over when you're not depressed. My depression's not about now. It never is. My depression's not about now. You have to trust me on this. So now let me give you a second way that I deal with my depression. And it's my number one tool that I use every single time. And I mean every single time when I'm in depression or when I start to feel that feeling coming up. You must journal about what you're feeling. You must, and I repeat, must. You must journal when you're depressed or if you start to feel it coming on. The only way out of your depression is to journal about your feelings of hopelessness. And I can't stress this enough. As soon as you feel a bout of depression coming on, or if you are sitting in depression right now, you must journal immediately about those feelings of hopelessness. And it's not enough just to sit and think about it. And think about it and stir about it because you know what happens when you do that. And I don't want you to numb out or try to avoid it. You have to decide that the next time you feel your depression, you are going to sit down and you're going to write what you're feeling. It's like your depression needs to tell you something. And it's time that you listen to the message. Give your depression some attention. I know you will want to run from these feelings because they're so heavy. And you will think that these feelings are about now. But remember, they're not. Your body is trying to tell you something. Now let me show you how to journal from the emotions that are coming up for you. So when you are depressed or you're starting to feel those yucky feelings coming up again, and you know what I mean by that, what messages are you repeating in your head? Are you hearing messages like, what's the point? Why bother? My life will never change. Things will never get better. There's no point. No matter what I do, nothing's going to change. I've said these many times and I've written about these many times. These are the writing prompts that you must write from. By writing prompts, I mean that these are the first sentences that you will use to start your journaling. You have to journal. You have to repeat this. Journaling is crucial to getting you out of your hopelessness. It saved my life. I told you earlier about how I've been in so much pain at times that I've wanted to end my life, and I have literally written pages and pages to save my life. And I can't tell you how many pages I've journaled expressing my day-to-day struggle with my depression. And I encourage you to visit my website, carolecares.com. And there's a blog that I wrote called Journaling for Depression. This is a page out of my own personal journal. It's real and it's raw. And it comes from a place of a lot of pain. I wrote how I saw no point in living, how I felt like no one cared about me, and how I didn't want to go on. I had to write this, and your thoughts need the same attention. They need somewhere to go. You have to get them down on paper or on a computer. Otherwise, those deep, dark, ugly thoughts will continue to spin in your head. And that's when we can really fall into this deep, dark place. Let me give you an example of how you can start your writing. So let's say the message you're hearing over and over in your head is this: there is no point in even trying. Nothing's going to change. Well, this message becomes your writing prompt. It becomes the first sentence that you're going to write in your journal. And so your journal entry will look something like this: there is no point in even trying. Nothing's going to change. I hate my life. What's the point? Nothing will ever change. Why should I even try? Nothing will ever change. I hate everyone. I don't care about anything. The whole world sucks. Do you see how I just wrote about what I was feeling? I don't care about grammar or spelling. I just write my feelings down. I just let them express. And this can go on as long as you need to. And you will find that you will need to repeat yourself a lot. You might keep on saying, what's the point? Nothing's going to change. What's the point? Nothing's going to change. And keep writing this over and over if you have to. And you're going to do that. And that's completely normal because you need to express what you're feeling. Now, I need to tell you something about journaling when you're depressed. Writing from your feelings of hopelessness is the last thing that you will want to do because you're depressed. You don't feel like doing anything and you see no point in doing anything. So I'm going to warn you now, you will have to dig really deep to find the strength that you need to journal. And I can't tell you how many days I would sit on my couch not wanting to do anything except just sit and numb out because I was depressed and I felt like shit. And there was no way that I could or I would do anything. And I was not going to journal. So it took all the strength in me to tell myself, Carole, this is not about now. Carole, you have to journal. You just have to. So I put this to you. What if this journaling will help you? What if you can change your situation? You And only you can decide to open up that door one last time for this possibility to happen. If you want your life to change, you must journal. If you have never tried journaling, or if you don't know how, I've done an excellent video on how to journal. I will link it at the end of this video and in my description box below. And if you subscribe to my website, I will send you a ton of writing prompts that you can use for depression and other emotions, all for free. So now let's move on to the last way to deal with your depression. I want you to allow any other feelings to express when you journal. As you continue writing, something really neat will happen. There's a message underneath your depression. You may have to repeat the same writing over and over again, like I said, but don't give up. So if you have to write, "What's the point?" 100 times, then that's what you have to do. But just keep writing. Keep writing. You have to write a few times, but you'll get it out eventually. And as you continue to journal about what's the point, why bother, my life will never change, you're going to discover the real reason why you're depressed. And other emotions may come up. Whatever was told to you or happened to you when you were younger would have brought up a lot of other emotions for you as a child, but again, you weren't able to express them at that time, and they may be the reason why you are feeling so hopeless now. So as you write, you may feel anger coming up. So maybe you need to release some anger. Maybe you need to cry about something. Maybe you may uncover some shame that someone handed to you when you were younger. Someone told you that you weren't good enough, or smart enough, or pretty enough, or strong enough, and that wouldn't get you far in life. So what is your depression telling you? Is there another message there? You need to express what is hiding underneath those feelings of hopelessness. In the description box below, I have listed some videos to help you work through your emotions like anger or fear or grief or shame. So these are my 3 ways to help you deal with your depression. And these are the same ways that I use to deal with my own depression. I no longer battle with depression in the way that I used to. My depression still comes up though, and the minute it comes up, I go immediately to my laptop and I start to write exactly what my depression is telling me. It usually almost always starts with, "What's the point? Nothing's going to change." And I journal from there. And I know that you can do this too. You can get to where I am right now. It's very possible to deal with and manage your own depression. It takes practice and a whole lot of determination on your part. But I promise you, your life will finally start to shift in a better direction for you once you start to journal from those messages that you are hearing. And I can't stress that enough. I know that I've repeated myself, but it's so important to journal, especially when dealing with depression. So as always, if you have any further questions about depression or any other challenges that you may be experiencing right now, please go to my website, carolecares.com, and under the Q&A section, you can fill out a form to send me your question. You can always subscribe to my YouTube channel or follow me on Instagram. And remember to have compassion for yourself for what you are working through, and stay safe. Bye for now.